So today I'm going to attempt to beat Emerald with only using one Pokemon, Snorunt. So there's 3 rules to this challenge. The first being obviously Snorunt only. Second, no items used in battle, full restores during the battle, revives, etc. And third, no glitches. So we're going to start off with our first rival battle against May. I get a freeze nice and early on, which makes this battle relatively easy. Although the crit makes me a little bit worried, the result doesn't really matter too much. So we take on the first gym leader, I'm level 14. You think Rock Gym, easy peasy, you're Ice type. Well, the first Geodude goes down, not a problem at all. Second Geodude, Powder Snow, goes down, not a problem at all. Tiny bit of health left, but it doesn't make a difference. Potion comes in, it's going to die to the second hit. The third Pokemon, the level 15 Nosepass. Surely this is what causes issues, and you think, nope, Ice is super effective. Turns out it's not, it's only Rock type, and as you can tell, Rock type absolutely demolishes Mr. Snowy. So we cop that loss in the chin and we go do some storyline stuff. In the midst of grinding, level 17 is actually Icy Wind. So now we can go back to Rock Sand with Icy Wind in our arsenal, 55 base power move, as opposed to 40 with the Powder Snow. So now we're going to go back to Rock Sand, we're going to give this a second crack. And here I elect to go with double team to begin. We're going to try and build some evasiveness because at level 18 there's not really too much I can do against this Nosepass in the back. So we're going to try and get a few double teams in until we get to about 15-13 HP from this Geodude. And just hope, we're going to roll the dice, you know, the RNG simulator. We're going to try and see how far it can take us into this Nosepass. So now we've gotten 4 double teams down, which is pretty good. We've lost a little bit of pace from the Rock Tombs, but we're still quicker than the Geodude. So first Icy Wind here takes down Geodude. Gonna use another Icy Wind, take it down, and now we're up to Nosepass. Nosepass uses Harden, which is a plus for me because I get a free Icy Wind, which also means the Nosepass loses speed. So now we should have the speed advantage, and we do. So we get a second Icy Wind in, and it's going to do a lot of damage. From here, I think the win is attainable. Rock Tomb misses, but the berry's going to come in. So the berry gives it a bit of health. We use a third Ice Wind, and it's going to take it ever so close. Almost down to the end here. And you think for sure, you know, one more hit will do it, but no. Leader Roxanne throws in the potion, another 20 HP. Icy Wind though. We're going to try and get as close as we can, and it's a crit. So absolutely stoked with the critical hit, and we're going to take our first badge down versus Roxanne. So now we've got the first gym badge. We're going to do a bit of grinding. We're going to go save poor little Nico from the big bad Team Aqua. And I just wanted to point out this clip because here I hit level 19, which means I gain access to the move Headbutt. And on the surface it's not a very strong move, especially for Snorunt. But with the speed advantage, it does give me access to flinches. And getting multiple flinches in a row can come in absolutely clutch. So we've got our Pokénav now, and we're going to go give May a battle, our rival. And this completely caught me off guard because I did not know that she had a Torkoal. Especially in Emerald anyway. I'm not sure if it's the same with Sapphire and Ruby. But we get into a double team curse battle, and I thought maybe we could just roll the dice again. Try and get a win this way, but no. Ember just absolutely too strong for my poor little Snorunt. So I decided to give another crack. Try and brute force it. I think, you know, if we can double team, if we can pull the double teams off here, we can win this battle successfully. And that's what I try to do. I try for a couple of double teams, but it just doesn't work. I get burnt and Ember. It's a really quick battle. So we give it one more crack. We give it a third crack. And this time, I decide to go with Headbutt. We need to use Headbutt a bit more. So I get 2 double teams in, and then we just Headbutt. And we just Headbutt, and we Headbutt. So here we get a crit, and then this Headbutt comes in big. Because we get the flinch in this Headbutt. There we go. There's the flinch. There's once. Get the flinch. It's dead. And that's why we like Headbutt in these early stages of the game, because I get a lot of flinches. Like, in this battle again, I'm just going to get another flinch here. And it just pulls off a really clutch sometimes. So skip forward to the second gym, Brawly. I'm level 22. Now, obviously I'm afraid of this gym because Fighting type is super effective to Ice. But the first Machop goes down relatively easy. The second Pokemon, the Meta type, actually has a hard-on for Focus Punch, which makes this battle very, very easy. But the third Pokemon, the big bad boss, Makuhitar. Now, this was always going to be a strong Pokemon. I thought maybe I could get away with just Icy Winding it, copping a crit, before it became too big. But the Vital Throw here is just such a strong move, and obviously nullifies any evasiveness from Double Team. So I decided to give this gym leader another crack. We throw an Orange Berry onto the Snorunt. No extra levels, no grinding, just purely going to try and give it a second attempt because I like to try and get through it if I can. So we're just going to skip through the first two here, and we get a headbutt, we get a flinch, which is very nice, then the Icy Wind clears them chop. No damage taken is always a plus. Onto the Makuhitar, and obviously it's going to use Focus Punch. So any moves here don't really make a difference because it can't attack anyway. So we get past the Makuhitar fairly easy. There's a Super Potion used by Brawly, but again it doesn't make a big difference because it's just going to Focus Punch, which means it's just free attacks, so we're always happy with that. But the third Pokemon, the last one that we're worried about, is the Makuhitar. Now to start here, we lead with Headbutt against the Makuhitar. There is a flinch, which is always welcomed in our books. Throw out a second Headbutt, and unfortunately no flinch this time, and the Vital Throw does 33 damage, taking me down to less than half my HP. And this is why I've equipped the Orange Berry, because if I do happen to take another Vital Throw, it should give me one more attack. So I use another Headbutt, don't get the flinch, and the Vital Throw takes me down to 3 HP. Now we're in danger zone. We kind of need the flinches, we need the crits, we need the RNG. We get a flinch, always welcome. Brawler's going to use a Super Potion, it's going to take him back up to full health, which is unfortunate, so we get one free headbutt at least. Now we're hoping for a flinch, that's all we can do. Get a headbutt, we get the critical hit, and it's a flinch! The best of both worlds, so we just go from not likely winning this battle to absolutely just wiping the floor. Snorunt over here just headbutting left, right and center, and it will take us the second gym leader's badge from Brawly. So we're going to skip forward to our second rival battle after the second gym. I just want to call this part RNG Giveth and RNG Taketh. So I missed my first Icy Wind. You know, it happens. Swift is a critical hit. You know, it happens. May only has 3 Pokemon, so this shouldn't be too bad of a rival battle for my Snorunt level 26. Slugma comes out. Now as long as there's no critical hit on the Ember, we should be fine to deal with Marshtomp, right? No critical hit. It's a critical hit. That's just the way it's gonna be. So we're gonna try again. No grinding, just give it a second attempt. Headbutt on the Lombre. No flinch, but we'll take it. Another headbutt. No flinch, but we're in a better shape than we were previous battle. Comes to the Slugma. Now as long as there's no critical hit on the Ember, we should be fine. There's another critical hit. And it's just, that's the way it's going to be. Sometimes you get it, sometimes you don't. Sometimes the crits are with you, and sometimes they're against you. Look, there's a critical hit, doesn't make a difference. Third time lucky, surely. Okay, we start off with a headbutt, we get a flinch. Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you. Icy Wind takes down Lombre. Now we're going to deal with the Slugma. As long as there's no critical hit, there's a flinch, even better. Okay, so we're full health going into Marshtomp. This should be children's play. Should be easy. Marshtomp level 20, we're going to headbutt. Flinch. Oh, terrific. Mudshot will slow us down. We're going to be slower next turn around, but we have enough health that we should be able to take these hits, and we do, and we take it down. Harder than it should have been. Skip forward to Watson, the third gym leader, and we're level 32. Now originally I didn't think this gym would be too bad because we had Crunch to deal with the Magneton at the end, but being Gen 3, Dark types are not very effective to steal, which meant all 3 moves that Snorunt knew weren't going to do much damage, because Headbutt not very effective, Icy Wind not very effective, and Crunch not very effective. And we couldn't even use Double Team because all of the electric types here know Shockwave, so I'm still going to get blasted no matter what. And as you can see here against Magneton, I lead with the Headbutt, very little damage, and straight away Thunder Wave, I'm on the back foot. Supersonic will get me as well, and now all of a sudden there's confusion, there's paralysis, it just doesn't work. So I go back to grinding, and we want to hit level 34 for Ice Beam. And so we go through, do a few battles, you know, here and there, just trying to get a few levels up. And eventually, during the trivial family battles, we hit level 34, and here it is. Here is Ice Beam. So we're going to replace Icy Wind, and we go from 55 base power to a whopping 95 with Ice Beam. So we're going to go back to Watson, and we're going to equip a Cherry Berry just to deal with these Thunder Waves, because they're extremely annoying. as we saw in the first battle. So we start off against Voltorb. This should be an easy match. It outspeeds me, but Ice Beam does lots of damage, and that's what we like to see. So second half comes Electrike, and we've got 14 levels on this poor sucker. Critical hit doesn't make a difference anyway. It was going to go down. So third Pokemon, and this is the big boy, the Magneton. This is the one that withstands a lot of damage. And see, Ice Beam doesn't even do half its damage, half its health. But the Cherry Berry gets rid of the Thunder Wave. You love to see it. I try and go for a flinch here. We get the critical hit, and we get the flinch. So I'm not complaining. We're going to take it. RNG in our favor for this battle. Finally, we have the Manic Trick. Level 24. We've got 10 levels on it. It leads with a Thunder Wave, and we cop the paralysis, so we can't move. It decides to use Howl, which is again in my favor. Paralysis again. That's 2 in a row. Surely not this time. Ice Beam does 2/3 here. The Citrus Berry is not going to make a difference. As long as we survive the Shockwave, we do. The Ice Beam will take it down, and we will get our 3rd badge with Snorunt. So now we are up to the Team Magma storyline, and I just want to point out that I do have a Gulpin in the party, but it will not be used for battle. I needed Rock Smash, the old HM slave. So I've included this because Camerupt is quite the issue, as you can see coming up with this next Pokemon. So I lead with the Headbutt. We try and get the flinch. We get the flinch. Try the Headbutt again. We don't get the flinch, and the Ember does 40 damage almost. And the Super Potions that Maxie uses is just really annoying. And as you can just see, it whittles me down. Headbutt, Headbutt, Super Potion, Ember, dead. And that's just how it goes, unfortunately, because here we do not get the flinch. And so I try again. We just go straight back into it. We've saved, we go again. And obviously we take down the Mighty Eater easily, but we decide to double team. And I figure if we want to win this battle, double team is going to be the way to go, because we just need to avoid the hits from the Camerupt. Because even 24 levels, 14 levels above it, it's just too strong with the typing against my poor little Snorunt. So Ice Beam takes down the Mighty Eater. Critical hit doesn't make a difference. We still would have wiped it anyway. Now here comes the raid boss, the Camerupt. We lead with the Headbutt, and we do not get the flinch. Magnitude 9 comes in. Doesn't do as much as I thought. The Headbutt misses because of the Sand attacks. And here it uses Focus Energy. And what do you know? We get a crit from the Headbutt. So all this double teaming just... we didn't even need it. The last Pokemon Zubat and just an easy Ice Beam cleans up, and that'll be Team Magma finished for this part of the story. So up to Flannery, the 4th gym of this challenge, and this gym is easily going to be the hardest gym that I have to face, being pure Fire type. And I figured that the best plan of attack is to try and boost my evasiveness with double team, just to try and avoid those overheats, because if I get hit by an overheat, any other Pokemon than Numel, it's going to absolutely wreck me. And I can't even get past Numel my first attempt. So I try again, just load it up. We reach Torkoal this time, but the absolute sheer strength of this overheat absolutely wrecks my poor little Mr. Snowy. So I try reaching level 43 to use Blizzard, because I learned Blizzard level 43, and still that doesn't even do half of Torkoal's HP, and overheat just comes back and absolutely wrecks me. And again, just another clip of me getting absolutely wrecked by Torkoal. So this Torkoal is just going to be one big problem. So during the process of learning Blizzard, I actually removed double team, so I decided to revert on that and use the TM for double team and actually replace Crunch, because we hadn't really used Crunch much in this playthrough. So I ended up with Ice Beam and Blizzard, Ice Beam being the more reliable, the more accurate of the two, but Blizzard for those scenarios where I need to wipe out big raid bosses, such as Torkoal. So now we're going to save the game. We're going to give Flannery another attempt, but this time with Blizzard and double team. So here I'm just going to lead double team. The aim is to try and not take too much damage from Numel, because we want to go into the Torkoal fight fairly healthy if we can. But obviously we've taken one overheat, one takedown. It doesn't really make too much of a difference, because one overheat from Torkoal will absolutely wipe us out, but we do manage to kill Numel. Now Camerupt here does get hit by the Blizzard and it's wiped out, which is a plus. Slugma should go down to the Ice Beam, and it does. So now all we have left is the big raid boss Torkoal. We're going to use Blizzard, and we're going to hope this 70% accuracy pulls through, and it actually is a crit. So these crits and flinches just coming in absolutely clutch, and we're going to take this down for the 4th gym badge of this challenge. Now Norman here with the 5th gym battle. This one don't need to spend too much time on because it was fairly straightforward. The only real problem was the slacking, but with the loafing, only being able to attack every second turn, Blizzard obviously always hitting for me. This gym battle was absolutely a piece of cake. Slacking goes down here, even with the hyper potions it doesn't really make a difference because, you know, Snorunt is getting pretty beefy, you know, level 44 can pack somewhat of a punch relative to these low levels. But yeah, this gym battle, there wasn't really much to say about this one because it was just an absolute walk in the park. And we're going to head onwards and upwards to the 6th gym, which should be just as easy. Now enjoy a super cut of versing Winona, the 6th gym leader. Obviously all flying types, so Snorunt's going to have an absolute field day, and it's just a matter of pew pew ice beam. So one ice beam takes down Swablu, one ice beam takes down Skarmory, one ice beam takes down Tropius, one ice beam takes down Pelipper, and last but not least, one ice beam takes down Altaria. Well, that's the 6th gym done and dusted. Definitely no sweat off Snorunt's back. At this point in time, we're now up to some more storyline questing, going through the Team Magma, and just want to throw this in just to show everyone just how much of a warpath Snorunt is actually on. Nothing can stop Mr. Snowy, and Mr. Snowy is coming for the Elite Four. Bad guys, good guys, no problem for Mr. Snowy. So after this victory, we're going to go to the 7th gym. So the interesting mechanic with the 7th gym is that it has to be a double battle. So here I have my HM Slave Lotad, and the plan is just to spam Blizzard and hope it hits both enemies. Fortunately, for the purpose of the run through, Lotad does actually drop pretty easily, which I thought would make this a hard challenge because at the moment now we're 1 versus 2 for the rest of the battle, right? And surprisingly here we get the freeze on the Solrock, which makes the rest of this battle surprisingly smooth because now I can just focus on the Claydol, just pray that the Solrock does not defrost, and for this turn anyway, he actually defrosts. But it uses Sunny Day, so we're going to focus on the Solrock because those fire moves could actually just absolutely wreck me, and Lunatone goes Calm Mind, so this 7th gym is just absolutely just wrapped up. Very easy, very quick, and we'll take the 7th gym. So before continuing on with the storyline and visiting Team Aqua, I thought I'd make a pit stop just quickly into Shoal Cave, because Shoal Cave contains one of the probably best items for this run through for our little Snorunt, being Never Melt Ice, which obviously boosts ice attacks. So here it is. So after picking up Never Melt Ice, we continue on with the storyline, and here we're versing Team Magma. Pretty standard here, just going to kind of fly through it because obviously double battles are our favourite thing in this challenge. Snorunt matched up with this little Matang. Started off using Blizzard but just swapped to Headbutt pretty quickly, and we just wanted to try and just wipe out these camera ups as quick as they could before they could have some just blast Mr. Snowy, and that's what ended up happening, just getting them down very quickly, and from there it was pretty just smooth sailing. It's to mention that the AI in this game is a little bit wonky sometimes is an understatement, so when double battles go like this, it's always a welcome sight. And just next up we have Archie as well, Team Aqua. This one just as easy as the previous. Snorunt is looking absolutely over leveled, and I'm sure everyone's just itching to see this 8th gym and the Elite Four afterwards, which is an absolute doozy because I'm not that over leveled when it comes to Elite Four. So we're just going to finish up this battle here with Team Aqua, and we're going to move on to the 8th gym leader. And so the 8th gym leader, Juan, is actually a water type, so as everyone knows, ice is not very effective to water. But here Juan uses one of his hyper potions, which is always nice on the first Pokemon. So Love Disc goes down, no damage on Snorunt, and we hit level 67. Pretty big stuff. Whiscash obviously has the ground typing here, so Ice Beam almost takes it out, but again the AI being the AI uses Amnesia. That's an easy 2 for nothing with Snorunt. Here the Celio is a big problem because it's ice and water typing, meaning I have to use Headbutt here, and we do learn the flinch. Now the Water Pulse of course confuses me, but we managed to get the Headbutt through, and we've just taken down his third Pokemon. Now onto the Crawdaunt, and Crawdaunt is very, very strong here. I hit myself in confusion, and the Crabhammer lands. Doesn't do too much damage, but again, the confusion just absolutely wrecks me. But the AI, being the IA, likes to taunt me. I get an Ice Beam off, and it does, you know, 3/4 of the health. We survive on 2 HP, snap out of the confusion, and now it's just Kingdra. And we need to pull something out of our ass here to absolutely take down this Kingdra. So we got the big boy Blizzard, and what do you know? We get the freeze! Absolute scenes. The Hyper Potion is not going to make a difference because the Ice Beam will take down this Kingdra, not this turn, but the next. So thank you RNG for the 8th Gym Badge. So before stepping into the Elite Four, I figured it would probably be a good idea to pick up the TM Shadow Ball, because there's one member of the Elite Four which is Ice type, Ice and Water more specifically, and then there is another who is Water type. So obviously I needed a move that wasn't Ice, and I figured this was the best move that Snorunt could learn, being Shadow Ball. So now the moment everyone has been waiting for, can Snorunt beat the Elite Four? Currently level 73, I wanted to see if I could do this without having to grind up to level 100, because what's better than beating the Elite Four with a level 100 Snorunt? Beating the Elite Four with a Snorunt under level 80. So the first member of the Elite Four features Dark type Pokemon, and the Ice Beam plus Snorunt's speed just makes this a trivial battle, makes it no issue whatsoever. I end up actually catching the freeze on this Ice Beam, and that's all she wrote for the first battle, so Sydney just stands no chance. And next up we have Phoebe, which is Ghost type, and I wasn't too worried about this one either, because Snorunt's Ice Beams are quite strong, and if we needed to, we could use the Blizzards if we ran into some trouble. But Dusclops being quite tanky here, I wanted to see the difference in damage between Shadow Ball and Ice Beam. In the end, Ice Beam was stronger with the Neverland Ice, despite the super effective Shadow Ball, but we're just stuck with the Ice Beam here. PP was a worry to begin with, but because bayonets are pretty weak as well, they generally did fall within 1 to 2 turns, and that's what happens here. Bayonet freezes and still drops after the full restore, and Sableye just very fragile as well, falls after 1 Ice Beam. So Phoebe in general was not a big worry. It was the next member of the Elite Four, and here's Mr. Snowy trying to evolve. This is why previously I gave it the Everstone, because I was really sick of pressing B to stop it evolving. But yeah, out of all the members, this I knew was going to be the hardest one, because Walrein and Celio are Ice and Water type, meaning it's 4 times resistant to my Ice moves. So my first strategy going in here was to double team, just to try and get the evasiveness up, and thankfully being Ice type I take no hail damage, but the first body slam I cop, I also cop paralysis, and I feel like this Celio just has homing goggles on or something, because it just does not miss a body slam, and just continues to hit them and just whittle me down. At this point I couldn't believe my luck, you know, not missing a single body slam so far. That's the first one, but I'm down to 43 HP, so obviously this run was doomed from the beginning. And you know, if this first run is any indication of how things are to come, we might need to look at another strategy or find some better RNG. So we've got run number 2. I've just fast forwarded through the other 2 battles because obviously being pretty easy, don't need to rewatch them again, it's a waste of everyone's time. And this time we get 2 double teams off without becoming paralyzed off the body slam. Now we've got 3 double teams. When we get a 4th double team, we have only taken 2 body slams, so we're in a much better position compared to the first run. We managed to get 5 double teams, and now we start the Shadow Balls, because obviously Ice Beam is not going to do that much damage to our poor old Celio, who is Ice and Water type. And so far, good result. We're off to Walrein. This is the raid boss. This is the raid boss of this Elite Four member, and first Surf misses, which is good. Second one misses, which is also good. Shadow Ball is still consistently hitting, which is good. Surf is still missing, which is also good. So Citrus Berry takes up to half health, and Shadow Ball, now we're in KO range. Now we take a big Surf, but it's these damn full restores that just really hinder this battle, because I can get Wolverine so close to being knocked out, but as soon as I just cop 2 surfs, I die. I figured that we're not going to get this done the way Snorunt is, so I head to Lily Cove and I jump in search for the TM16, which I missed there and come back the second time, but it's actually a light screen, because I figure if I have a light screen up and I do get hit by a surf, I will receive reduced damage. The next thing on my list was to go full Gimp and actually get Attract, because that way, if they're a male Pokemon, my Snorunt can make them fall in love. So run 3 Elite Four ends in me dying again, of course. Just gonna fast forward to run 4, and run 4 was a bit more substantial. But now we've got Light Screen instead of Blizzard, and the strategy is to use Light Screen once I come up against Wolverine, because if I do get hit by Surf, with Light Screen up, I will take reduced damage. So here I just get in as many double teams as I can, whilst avoiding as much damage as I can. And so far it's been going really well. This is the 5th double team, and Celio doesn't land a single Boulder Slam. So we're off to a good start, and now Celio will use Hail, so that's a free Shadow Ball again for my Snorunt. And here Body Slam does hit, but no paralysis, so we're going to take that as a win in our books, because no paralysis means we still move first. And now the raid boss Wolverine has come out to play and ruin the party, so the plan is just to use Light Screen and try and mitigate as much damage as we can from this surf. So as long as it misses, we're cheering. If it hits us, we still don't take too much damage, so the Shadow Ball is just going to whittle down this Wolverine. The Citrus Berry is going to prop it back up, and we're just going to have to pray that it doesn't hit us too hard. So here the Light Screen wears off. We're going to use the Shadow Ball whilst the full restore is used. Obviously you're not going to do too much damage. We're going to put up the Light Screen in case he uses Ice Beam, and for whatever reason the AI does. So we're still slightly alive and kicking on 13 HP. We would need an absolute miracle run to come back from this, but the critical hit does give us hope. So now she's going to send out the Glalie. Hello, my evolution. Obviously Snorunt is the better of the two, because we're about to take down Glalie. And that's what we do on the 3rd turn in this battle. So that's 3 down, there's 2 to go. I'm thinking, you know, maybe we can gimp this. So Celio comes out and Double Edge misses, which is good. And I use Shadow Ball and just hope for a miss. No. Taken down once again. So now we've got attempt number 5, and these darn ice types are just proving to be a bit too much for Mr. Snowy the Snorunt. But we're going to try again. So we're just going to keep going with the double teams and just hope that the Celio doesn't get too many attacks off on me. That's what happens. So again, we go at the Light Screen and we're just praying to the RNG gods just to let us live just a little bit to get past this Wolverine. And you know, despite through the full restores, we do manage to take down this Wolverine, all things considered, which is quite the miracle. Glalie, you know, it seems to be not too bad, because 3 Ice Beams and it goes down. And this Celio has been my kryptonite so far, and it actually carries me with a Blizzard of all things, which is disappointing. Right, this is the one, I can feel it. Attempt number 6, we're going to do it this time. We're just going to speed through this as we pump up our double teams. And as always, the aim is to get through this first Celio without taking too much damage. And that's what happens. So we get onto the Wolverine, and again, throw out the Light Screen. We want to try and negate some of that damage. Just hope that Shadow Ball does its job. And you might be thinking the SP defense drops are good, but in Generation 3 there wasn't the split between the physical and the special in different typings. So Ghost, surprisingly, is actually considered physical, so no matter how many Shadow Balls I threw out, it wasn't going to make him weaker. 2 more Shadow Balls, unfortunately. And still here, we're in a good spot, these Surfs having missed. And 1 critical hit, which is good because it takes him almost down to half health. And we're still looking pretty healthy. And surprisingly, the Surfs keep on missing. And now I think this is doable. And all of a sudden, Wolverine is down. So still half health, 3 Pokemon to go. This Glalie has not been too much trouble in the past, so we're hoping for a repeat of the previous attempts. I consider throwing out the Light Screen, but decide not to, and saves a turn, so we're now down to 2, and this Celio is going to come out, and this has been the kryptonite. Can we take out this Celio? It starts off with a hail, which is music to my ears because it's a free attack. Blizzard misses, which is also a good sign, and there's no full restore, so Celio goes down, and finally we're up to the last Glalie, and if it's anything like the previous one, this should be an easy battle, but stranger things have happened. We just need to get through this Glalie, and it's a critical hit. It's a perfect way to finish this battle. So 3 completed, 2 more to go. And now we're up to Drake, the 4th member of the Elite Four with his dragon types, and I'm going to teach Attract to my Snorunt because it'll come in handy against Drake with the faster dragons that I think will outspeed us, and especially with Wallace. All of their Pokemon are actually male genders, and I didn't pick my Snorunt's gender, I didn't pick its abilities, I didn't pick its nature. It was all random, so it just happened to work out this way that Snorunt was actually female, despite being called Mr. Snowy. And my strategy for this battle will be simple. I will use Attract on the Shelgon first up, and that'll help me set up my double teams for the rest of the battle for the faster dragon types. So that's exactly what I do. I lead with Attract, it gets a Rock Tomb off. Not the end of the world, but that could contribute to any speed differences for the next dragons. But we just have to wear it, we have to take it, because we're just going to throw out as many double teams as we can. Ideally 6 to get the max evasiveness, and then just hope that the faster dragons miss their flamethrower and we can take them down with Ice Beam, because the damage on Snorunt is not a problem here. It's the speed that is the biggest factor. And so Flygon comes out second. Flamethrower misses, thankfully. Ice Beam takes it down with the 4 typing weakness. So Salamen's up, and I'm fairly certain it's going to be quicker. It is. Flamethrower misses, great sign to see, and he goes down with Ice Beam. So the rest of this battle should just be, walk in the park. Aerial Ace hits, of course, but it doesn't do much damage, so Altaria goes down. And Mr. Snowy hits level 76, and Kingdra comes out. So Surf hits, a little bit worrying, but we just need it to miss. It does, and Ice Beam will take Kingdra down. So one of the easier battles in the Elite Four for that one. So here it is, the pinnacle of the video. Snorunt versus Wallace, the last member of Elite Four. We're going to lead with Attract, and then we're just going to spam double team. That's the only way we're going to be able to win this battle with the level 76 Snorunt. So that's what happens. We're just going to lead, double team, double team, double team. We want our max evasiveness, and we just want to cheese this. We want to cheese it with the level 76 Snorunt. Definitely a first for me, if we can get it done. So here we've missed all the attacks, which is always great. Want to see how much damage Shadow Ball did to our Lord? It taken down to half after 2. Once we get the 3rd one in, he's very close to going down. And this is where all of Wallace's Pokemon being male came in handy with the Attract, because Attract is obviously 50-50 chance of being immobilized or not. And as you can see there, we get the actual freeze from the Ice Beam. So off to a great start versus Wallace for our first attempt. We're going to stay with Ice Beam against the Tentacruel. Toxic misses, luckily, and I actually forgot to use Attract, so we use Attract now. Toxic misses again, and if Toxic hits, that's it, it's game over. There's no way to wipe out the rest of his team that quickly. Thankfully for us, it does miss, and we do manage to take down Tentacruel to the lowest of lows. Hydro Pump misses, and we're going to finish him off with Shadow Ball. 2 down, this is a perfect start versus Wallace. We can use Attract on the Ludicolo. It's immobilized, always a good sign. Ice Beam should do about half, a little bit more than half, it's immobilized. So this is a free takedown, and all of a sudden we're 3 from 6, we're halfway. So now Wallace sends out Whiscash, and it does have that ground typing, so Ice Beam does more than half of his health. And Amnesia prevents it from going down here, but Wallace obviously has a back pocket full of full restores. So we're just going to continue with Ice Beam. I use Attract. It did not know that Whiscash had Oblivious, which means it cannot be attracted, cannot fall in love. Poor fella. So I just swap it to Shadow Balls here, just to try and save some of my Ice Beams, and we get the critical hit, which is always a lovely sign to see. 2 left! Whew, here we go. We get to Gyarados, we use Attract, and will it be immobilized? No, but we don't get damaged, it's a Dragon Dance, we can live with that. It's now faster because of the Dragon Dance. The Earthquake hits, but it doesn't quite do half. So as long as we can survive here, we do. Ice Beam takes it down. First run against Wallace, and we're already up to Milotic. This is the biggest raid boss of raid bosses. We're gonna lead with Attract. It manages to immobilize, but Toxic, it misses anyway, so it's not terrible. But here's the biggest problem. Ice Beam does not do much damage. So here we use Shadow Ball to try and get the SP defense drops. We want to try and lower Milotic's defense, special defense, to a point where Ice Beam does a lot of damage. And the immobilization is always good because it means less attacks, but as you can see there, I've got one Ice Beam left. So I'm trying to drop this SP defense, but then it pulls out Recover. And that is not what we want to see. We like to see a critical hit, and that was actually really good. But Wallace, with his full restores again, just whips it out of the back pocket and throws in another full restore. And that was my last Ice Beam. So now I've got 5 Shadow Balls left, so we need no more recovers. And unfortunately, Milotic gets another recover. And unless we can get another crit, 2 HP, we're hanging on. And unfortunately the SP defense drops do not help with Shadow Ball. I would have loved them previously, but we just cannot get them now. And that's it, that's my last Shadow Ball. So unfortunately we fall short. I've got no attacking moves left. And Wallace still had another full restore, so it was like we weren't even close to winning this battle despite almost getting there. And I can't do anything else for the rest of this battle, so unfortunately that's all she wrote. And the end of Mr. Snowy's first attempt against Wallace. I'm not going to lie and say that this wasn't a hard attempt, because I gave it many runs. Attempt 2, attempt 3, attempt 4, attempt 5, attempt 6, attempt 7, attempt 8, just all ending in the same way. Until we came to this run. I managed to get 6 double teams off without taking a single hit from Wailord. And that's when I knew that this could be the one. This could be the run that got us to the end. And so we got a freeze with the Ice Beam, which is always nice. Shadow Ball doesn't finish off Wailord, but it's okay. We still managed to get him low enough for the full restore. And the more full restores used at the beginning of the battle is better, because it means there's less full restores for the raid boss Milotic at the end. So we still haven't taken any damage from Wailord, and so far this run is shaping up to be great. It's shaping up to be the run. Second Pokemon comes out, Tentacruel. Now, we can start with Attract, doesn't get an attack off, which is always welcome. I'm never going to say no. Start throwing out Shadow Ball, and Shadow Ball actually does more damage because it's a physical attack against the Tentacruel. So we continue with Shadow Ball, and you'll notice I actually used a few of my PP ups to get to 24 Shadow Balls, because last time we ran out of moves. So we didn't want the same thing to happen again this time. And so we obviously go with Attract against Ludicolo. Leech Seed misses, which is good, because again, it's a move like Toxic. If it hits us, we can say goodnight, sayonara. So we managed to take down Ludicolo, and still we've taken no damage. And maybe this will be the one after almost 10 attempts. And Whiscash, obviously with that ground typing, it enjoys the Ice Beam, let's put it that way. No full restore comes out, so again, this is looking very good. This is looking very good coming into Gyarados here. We're going to go with Attract. Hopefully it's immobilized. No, but the Dragon Dance doesn't mean we get an attack. If it's immobilized, we'll be cheering. We're cheering. Woohoo! And it's a freeze! Even more reason to cheer, because we're now up to Milotic with 138 HP. We're in a very good position. So we start with Attract. Toxic misses. That's not terrible. So Shadow Ball. So the aim again here is just to spam Shadow Ball. We want those SP defense drops and the immobilization. That's all we can really hope for here. Not getting any SP defense drops, but we get a critical hit. That comes so close. And the recover just brings it back up to over halfway. So there's the first SP defense drop. Yeah, I've got a good feeling. This is it. This is going to be the run. The SP defense drops, we will take as many as we can get. As many as we can get. So we've had one so far, and we really don't like recover, because if it gets to a point, we're going to run out of PP for our moves. And as you can see, Shadow Ball is starting to become quite low. We have 8 left, and the more recovers it gets off, the worse. Surf does a lot of damage. So here I go, we need to Ice Beam it. We need to Ice Beam. And I'm like, this is it, this is it. No! The full restore comes in the worst time. Just when we thought it was done, with the level 76 Snorunt, pulls out the full restore. And we just need to pray that these surf misses. Please, please. It's a freeze! Oh my god, it's a no! It's another full restore. Just, oh, Wallace just playing with our hearts right here. And I only have 2 Ice Beams left, so we need to pray that these Surf misses. And we get an SP defense drop. Ice Beam, please, please, please. Oh, so close. Immobilized. That's it. Oh, it's another full restore. Another full restore. How many of these does Wallace have in his back pocket, his front pocket? Far out. The SP defense drops, you know, will this be enough for an Ice Beam? And Shadow Ball. Oh, it's so close. It's so close. Shadow Ball, so close. No, not today. After coming so close in the previous run, I think we can get there. I think it's achievable. I think it's doable, and just cheesing it is the way to go. So this attempt, we just cheese out 6 double teams and just start following with the Ice Beam, just trying to apply the maximum damage we can against this Wailord. And we do manage to get 1 full restore out of Wallace. So here we go, attract. The attacks miss, which is always good, and so far we haven't taken a single attack from any opponent. Onto the Ludicolo, and we're just praying that it's the same again. And we actually get a freeze, which you're never going to argue with. So here, the similar strategy. We're just trying to hope that we don't get hit, and just take down the opponent as we go. You know, after all these runs, if we can just get some good RNG. And as you just saw, there's a second full restore, which means less full restores for the raid boss Milotic. Onto the Gyarados, and we still haven't taken any damage, which turns out to be one heck of a run, because we take down Gyarados here and now after this full restore, which means there should only be 1 full restore left for Milotic. And this is it. I haven't taken a single bit of damage. This can be it. This can be the run that ends it. So we start with Attract. Attracts Milotic, Toxic misses, thank God. And now we just want those SP defense drops. We want the special defense drops to come in. If we can't, we just want to stop getting attacked, or we want the Surfs to miss. And there we go. There's the first drop. We'll take as many as we can get. The Citrus Berry comes back in, but it's fine because there's another SP defense drop. Recover comes. It's not the end of the world because it means we're not getting attacked. And we can just keep stacking these special defense drops. So far we're sitting at 2. And we're just piling on the Shadow Balls, and there's a third one. This is it. This is the perfect run. Can we do this without taking damage? That would be one heck of a run after all the attempts that I've displayed here today. And still immobilized, so I've got a good feeling. Ice Beam comes in, so close, but the Recover. The Recover comes back, but this might mean that Ice Beam takes it down. So close again, and it's immobilized. And there's no full restore. That's it. That's it, we've done it. Mr. Snowy, the level 76 Snorunt, has beaten the Elite Four. One heck of a run after all those previous attempts, and managed to not take a single bit of damage is just mind-blowing to me. It's just the power of cheese here has allowed the level 76 Snorunt to beat the Elite Four on Pokemon Emerald. And so that answers the question: can Snorunt beat Pokemon Emerald? Then your answer is right here. Yes, it can. Thanks for tuning in, and I hope you've enjoyed it. This is Todd Talks, signing off in the afternoon. Thank you, and goodbye.